It's easy to rank teams based on success or valuation of franchise, but there's some other metrics that really mean a lot to the players that play on the field. The NFLPA surveyed a whole bunch of players. Let's see where the Jets ranked. Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, we're talking a little report card action in terms of the New York Jets and where they rank amongst other teams in the league. This was put out by the NFLPA, and this is what their mission statement kind of was as far as what they were thinking about. One of our core jobs as a union is to improve the overall working conditions for our players, which includes the daily experience of players at team facilities away from the lights and cameras. 1,300 of our players provided information to share with one another about their current club to not only help them make important career decisions, but also help raise standards across the league. So I think this is a really important initiative, and it's an area that I think, kind of gets glossed over. Like, you see, it's the New York media. It's, maybe it's the tax brackets or things of that nature that we bring up when players are looking to sign different spots. But the comfort level with the player and how those teams handle players in general, I think is important as well. Some key notes in this study. 1,300 players is what they mentioned. There are about 2,100 players, I think, 2,400 players. If I have my math correct, 53 players per roster, 14 practice squad players times 32 teams. You do the math. So basically like 60% of people seem to have responded to this survey. So it's not a full apples to apples comparison. And I would imagine if you had a heavy skewing of players from one team, weighing in on something, it's probably going to skew things one way or another. But hopefully everyone had an average deviation, and we can kind of look at these numbers in a pretty fair light here. The other thing about this is this data was taken over the course of March 2022 to April 2022. So this does not include this past NFL season. It was the 2021 season and what those players felt like on their clubs. So without further ado, let's jump into the Jets rankings and see where they kind of came out here. So as you see, 19th overall is where they're kind of ranking us here. The overview. New York Jets ranked 19th in our team guide. Their facilities all grades slightly above average, and while there was nothing overly problematic identified in the results, there is nothing that stands out as excellent either. In general, the sentiment is that facility is getting old and can use upgrading. Now, I'm curious to see if this is the training facility specifically, like Florham Park and the Atlantic Health Center, or if this is going to wind up being maybe, MetLife and locker room type stuff as well. So something to keep an eye on here. It says 77% of players feel that owner Woody Johnson is willing to invest in necessary upgrades to these facilities, though ranking him 24th in this category. So it's almost like one of those weird situations where you I guess you're afraid maybe your owner may find out. So even though you're ranked 77th in like upgrading stuff or think that you would upgrade stuff, to be ranked 24th is probably not ideal. Player respondents don't feel like coaching staff. The player respondents don't feel like the coaching staff, which was ranked last, is efficient with their time, as they are routinely at facilities much later than other teams in the league. Longer hours are not necessarily correlated to winning, as 7 of the top 8 coaches who ranked most efficient with their players' times made the playoffs this past year. So as you can see, this is where the Jets kind of ranked here. Treatment of families was a C+, got tied for 18th. Food and nutrition, C-, tied for 16th. Weight room, B-, strength coaches, B, training room, C+, training staff, B, locker room, B-, team travel, B-. So it's a few different categories. So it seems like it's MetLife and, Florham Park and facilities that they just deal with in general. So let's go through this and just kind of break down how they sort of felt about everything. So treatment of families tied for 18th in the league with a C+. Support of players' families ranked 20th. They offered daycare. They are one of 14 teams that do not have a family room. Post-game gathering area was ranked 14th. So those were the two categories that it seems they asked about in the grading process here. As you move down to food and nutrition, you see we were tied for 16th with a C-. Quality of food ranked 23rd. All 3 meals provided 83% of players say there was enough room in the cafeteria. So I guess that was another metric that they had. I would envision Denzel Mims probably was not too thrilled with the quality of food, given that he had food poisoning all of the summer, not all of, but during the summer of 2021 when this would have taken place. And then I would also envision this support of players' families ranked 20th. That's probably going to go down as well this year because of like all the reports of like crazy ass Jet fans DMing Zach Wilson's mom, and that treatment of family deserves us to have an F 9 times out of 10. Like you cannot have this. So C+, I envision that's probably going to go down in the future. Food and nutrition, maybe ranked a little low here. But again, if maybe some people think Mekhi Becton maybe didn't show up in the greatest of shape, maybe that is going to wind up dinging us as well, moving forward. Weight room. Weight room, we got a B-, ranked 21st. Players say their weight room is smaller compared to others around the league. It's not about the size, it's how you use it. 100% feel they have enough strength coaches. So that's good. Obviously, it wouldn't be good if you start throwing your coaches under the bus. But we'll see where this winds up taking us. Strength coaches. So they have enough coaches, but they graded them a B, which is tied for 30th. Man, if that was the grade for a B, that's rough. 30 teams ahead of us with a B. Players believe that the strength coaches moderately add to their individual success. Most teams rated their strength staff high, very high, which is why they are ranked as tied for 30th, but still received a good grade overall. 83% of players believe they received an individual plan ranked 27th. So by this metric, it seems like our players want to have clearly, nutrition-based or strength-based regimens that are geared towards them specifically, not just kind of blanketed across the board. Like, I don't know how they would necessarily do this, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like they're going to rank their coach side. They probably deal with these guys more frequently than they deal with, like, I would say even more so than Robert Saleh. They're dealing with their strength coaches every single day. I don't know. Interesting. I was a little surprised to see it that high of a grade, but that low of a score. In the training room, the Jets got a C+, which tied for 17th. They said staffing, 82% feel they have enough ATCs, that is 9th worst in the league. 84% feel they have enough PTs, that's 10th worst in the league. The steam room and sauna, there is enough room, there is a steam room. 63% feel it is big enough. There is a sauna. 60% feel it is big enough. I would envision once Mekhi Becton returns to the locker room, those saunas and steam rooms may feel a little bit smaller. No, I guess that's good, right? 60%? I don't know. I don't use a sauna too often. It is nice, but that's not something I generally do. Tubs, 71% of players feel they had enough hot tub space. 71% of players feel they had enough cold tub space. Cool. I guess cool and hot. Training staff. Jets received a B, which was tied for 28th. Players believe the training staff moderately adds to their individual success, as we saw with the strength coaches. Most teams ranked their strength staffs very highly, although the staff ranked tied for 29th. They still received a good score for overall good reviews they received. So I guess that means just a lot of teams or a lot of NFL teams are hiring really good trainers. So I guess it's a good thing to see, even though we're not ranked super high as far as like overall ranked out of 32. I'll take, B's in that regard. Locker room. We got a B-, ranked 17th in the league. Players feel like the locker room is starting to feel old and believe they need newer lockers. 85% of players feel they have enough space, ranked 19th. Locker room starting to feel old. Interesting. I was in the locker room just this past year. I believe it was this past year for the green and white scrimmage. I think we were allowed to go through it, and it looked fine to me. I didn't notice anything crazy, but I guess I haven't been in other teams' locker rooms, which other teams' players have been. So I guess maybe we got to plan for some upgrades. Maybe they just, maybe they just knock down all of MetLife and just build a brand new stadium with a dome. That's how you fix the locker rooms. Team travel. Team travel got a B-, tied for 18th. 74% of players feel like they have enough room to spread out. No roommates on team travel, and good amount of first-class seats. Could you imagine seeing some of these football players getting squeezed into economy class? So like Mekhi Becton, 6'7". Oh, excuse me. It's like watching Shaq get out of a Beetle. Ugh. I guess that's good, right? We got JetBlue on our team, so we gotta see about getting some upgrades here. A little bit of comments brought into here. I wanted to point out the bottom section here, kind of right. Where is it? Right there. The questions called for both quantitative and qualitative answers. For example, grade your weight room with 1 reflecting the best rating, 5 reflecting the lowest rating, and what would you change about your weight room. The numerical ratings for each subcategory of questions were tallied and averaged. The questionnaire also sought to elicit the opinion of players on some issues that have a direct impact on the quality of life for NFL players. These qualitative responses, which are inherently subjective, were reviewed and evaluated by the union and then factored into providing an overall rating that was intended to reflect player opinions. So overall, I kind of like this. It's not great, I guess, in terms of like where you think the Jets may have ranked overall. Like 19th isn't exactly where you want to be. But when you look at some of these other players or some of these other teams, let's see if I can open this up here. Look at where some of these teams ranked. I mean, you're looking at, let's see, can I stretch this out? I could probably stretch this out. Sorry about that. There it is. All right. Shrink my little window too. Yeah, the Jets didn't receive any Fs, which is kind of nice. When you're looking at treatment of families, you got Dallas, Carolina, Minnesota, and Buffalo all rounding out with A's. Nutrition, you have a bunch of teams, Cowboys again, Packers, Eagles, Dolphins at the top of the list there. Weight room, again, man, I don't like seeing division rivals up there. When I see like Miami Dolphins and Buffalo Bills, that just irks me just that little bit more, especially since we're already dealing with like the BS of having to put up with like income tax state stuff with the Dolphins and whatnot. So I don't like seeing that. Strength coaches, wow. Well, I guess everyone ranked high on that one. That was kind of what they were talking about, right? Training room, Dolphins again at the top of the list. Training staff, Dolphins again at the top. Giants at the top of the list too there. What else we got? We got locker room. Let's see, Dolphins again at the top. Man, I don't know if the Dolphins just had a bunch of people answer this questionnaire or if, they really are that good. That's disappointing. Let's see, I have one more column that I can't see right here. Let's see what this does. Travel. All right. And in terms of travel, who were the top ones? So you got Vegas, you got the Saints, Houston, Miami again at the top. Miami, look at their rankings across the board. They got A's in damn near everything. So the only thing they got was C+ in treatment of families. Everything else is an A. I don't love that. I don't love seeing that. So it's interesting all the way around, I guess, as far as like players and how they perceive the New York Jets. I don't know. I guess that's kind of where I would rank the Jets. Somewhere middle of the pack. I like what the Jets offer. I think we do have a really nice facility. I think, maybe the lack of success here in New York may skew some of the metrics maybe, because there's always going to be some type of implicit bias. But hopefully the Jets can work on it, and hopefully other teams can work on it, because you want to see these players' quality of lives wind up going up. So let me know what your thoughts of this down below in the comments are. Do you think this means anything at all? Do you think it's interesting? Where do you think the Jets rank overall, I guess, in terms of preference of players, selection of new teams? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets.